Hello. Okay. Uh, so my name is Upmanu Lall, and I'm at Columbia University and Arizona State University. It's my pleasure to welcome you to this event, jointly sponsored with Science Capital and a bunch of other sponsors, as you've noticed, no doubt, from your thing. So what's this about? You already know. That's why you're here. We are here to make America wet again, but not too wet. Frankly, we started a thing on America's Water 12 years ago, and then Science and Alex in particular, who's going to talk to you in a few minutes, uh, joined us about 6 years ago. He came over and talked to us, and the basic goal that we had in common was, how do we make sure that the water services in America and around the world are consistent with the aspirations of the people who want those services. And so the very first thing I'll say is that one of the things I've learned over the years is that for most people, the aspirations are very simple. They want to open a tap, have the water flow, and have it be safe. It's amazing that today we are still bringing that up as a question, but I think we need to go beyond that, because this is Climate Week, and during Climate Week, the question is, why are we talking about water? Obviously, those who showed up here know that, and those who didn't show up here are lost, right? So one of the things we have to do is to get the message across to those folks that water is fundamental to climate. If you look at climate and how it translates into society, since I now live in Phoenix, heat is an issue, but as my friend Dave White will tell you later in the day, a lot of that heat is locally generated. The water part is really a global issue, and I will not call it a crisis, because I think what it is really an opportunity for us to come together and show what we can really do to improve the well-being of all people. That's the context of this particular event, and a lot of the people who join us here are from industry and from the finance industry and other areas in particular. The way this event has been run from the beginning is we are here to listen and learn, not to preach. So I hope that this goes well for all of us. And I'm very happy that all of you are here, including those who are online. The turnout, at least in terms of registrants, is spectacular. And in terms of the speakers that are lined up is also spectacular. I'm really looking forward to listening to them. With that, let me introduce Dean Jeff Shaman. He's the Dean of the Climate School at Columbia. Climate School, Climate Week, obvious connection. Jeff is an amazing person. I've known him for about 25 years now. He's worked at the intersection of climate, health, and water. Water in an interesting way. If you think about vector-borne diseases, where do you think that they are resident and propagated from? So I'll let you dwell on that. And with that, let me invite Jeff to come over and join.
Thank you, Manu. Good morning. My name indeed is Jeff Shaman, and I am the interim dean of the Columbia Climate School. It's a pleasure to welcome you to today's event, Rethinking Water. The intention of this convening is to showcase leading actors and thinkers on climate water infrastructure issues from the private and the public sectors. It is a part of an effort to build a university-industry consortium to understand and solve the water challenges we face at different scales. I want to thank the event's organizers. This is the 5th year of a partnership between Columbia University and Science Water, who organized this conference. The partnership developed from the America's Water Initiative, which was developed by the Columbia Water Center under Manu and the Earth Institute 12 years ago. This year's event is organized specifically by Science Capital, Columbia Climate School's Water Center, Columbia World Projects, Columbia's School of Engineering and Applied Science, and Arizona State University. Today's conference, where you are, is hosted at the Forum. That's the building you're in with the ship shape. The Climate School occupies this floor, and I should want to say a few things about the Climate School. It is the nation's first climate school. Our mission, which intersects with the goal of this conference, is to further knowledge and educate leaders to achieve equitable and just solutions to the world's changing climate and related sustainability challenges. As a school, the Climate School is foremost an educational institution. We launched the school 3 years ago and recently welcomed our 4th cohort of students. Those students are studying and exploring mitigation, adaptation and resilience, climate dynamics, food and water security, law and justice, finance, and communication. And they're moving into a vast range of sectors: business, academia, government, and nonprofit. But the Climate School mission extends beyond education to research and practice. 24 centers reside within or are affiliated with the Climate School. The faculty and researchers of those centers build urban design solutions. They study plastic waste and the circular economy. They research extreme events. They promote reforms for urban transportation and sustainable investment, and they study conflict. Climate School faculty and researchers have organized themselves into action collaboratives. These are intended to activate multidisciplinary teams composed of experts from within the Climate School and the broader Columbia University community who work with external partners to develop evidence-based approaches to pressing climate and sustainability challenges. We have 5 action collaboratives: food, energy, disasters, the built environment, and, of course, water. The identification of water as one of our 5 initial action collaboratives is obvious, as it is imperative that we proactively address and steward our intensifying water challenges. The list of freshwater system stressors is large. These include a shifting hydrologic cycle and rising temperatures, an aging infrastructure of dams, levees, and water treatment and wastewater treatment facilities, infrastructure that is disproportionately failing in poorer communities. The stressors also include microbial blooms, in some instances exacerbated by a changing climate, which now require tertiary treatment approaches. They include waste issues, in particular the increasing prevalence of heavy metals, pharmaceuticals, plastics, and agricultural runoff in our water systems. These contaminate food supplies, disrupt our endocrine systems, produce oxidative stress, reduce life expectancy, and have demonstrated neurodevelopmental and neurodegenerative effects. And it also includes the thousands and thousands of untested and unregulated chemicals that abound in the products we use, wear, and unwittingly ingest. Some may be relatively benign, some more dangerous. Some may act synergistically, some may bioaccumulate. Regardless, their effects on ecosystems, food chains, and human physiology are unexplored. These anthropogenic disruptions threaten the viability of our planet. They toxify our air, water, and soils. They constitute an increasingly large and disruptive portion of the exposome, defined as the chemical, physical, biological, and social factors that influence human health. And their increasing abundance bears witness to human appetites and short-term thinking. One might ask ourselves, will each generation clean up after themselves? Will each generation leave the planet and its resources as they found it? Or will it be business as usual? Certainly, sustainability challenges, including those in the water space, are among the most pressing and existential challenges we face. But sustainable stewardship of our water resources, indeed of all our planetary resources, may require a degree of selflessness and intergenerational thinking and action that humans have yet to demonstrate. So how do we effectively incentivize selfless intergenerational action? How do we achieve near complete circularity? Tackling such questions requires collective effort from a vast array of disciplines: finance, policy, law, engineering, ethics, economics, sociology, chemistry, hydrology, medicine, public health, agriculture. The list is near endless. We need to bridge across these disciplines and across sectors: business, government, nonprofit, and academia. We must develop transdisciplinary cross-sector partnerships because the management, delivery, and security of fresh water has never been more urgently needed. In this light, today's convening is most welcome. It brings together experts from a broad range of disciplines and sectors to build the investment, technology, and policy underpinnings needed to create a lasting new generation of water services for urban and rural areas around the world. Together, you must rethink water and initiate action on water issues. The work must not merely be theoretical. It must engage the engines of change: communities, the body politic, the markets, international accords, and practitioners. It must probe and activate the solution space for our water challenges. So I welcome you to Rethinking Water. I hope it is a productive meeting and that you enjoy your time both here and in New York City. Welcome.
Thanks very much, Jeff. A very thoughtful welcome indeed. Let me now ask Alex to step up from the Science Capital side and walk you through today's program.
Welcome, everybody. It's hard to follow the Dean of the Climate School talking about climate and infrastructure and Professor Lall. So I will go with a visual representation of what I hope will set the tone for the day. Bit of volume, please. So that's the visual representation of the day. I hope that everyone takes two messages out from the day as we've planned it. We started out, I think 5 years ago when we started Rethinking Water, we didn't really know how to make sense of water, so we thought of it as a Rubik's Cube in terms of algorithms and making sense of it. And today I would encourage everyone to think of it and think of the ways that you can use what you've learned today to unscramble what we believe is water, which is a complicated situation. But also, I think what you'll see 5 years into Rethinking Water, and hopefully what you'll get out of today and see firsthand, is that this puzzle, which we have on the right-hand side here, is solvable if you put the right pieces together. As the dean and as the professor mentioned, there's many constituents here that are from public policy, engineering, industry, finance, public policy. And it's only when you put those pieces together, when you put the pieces of the individuals in this room together, that you can actually solve it, and solve it one drop at a time is how we like to think about it. But hopefully, so today, you'll come out of it seeing that it is possible and that there are solutions in mind, and you will see that it produces tremendous impact. So with that in mind, I will walk through the program today. Well, we're going to have a tremendous keynote coming up here shortly. Firstly, an investor perspective. I think we come at it from an investor perspective, but I think driving capital, driving people, driving solutions is important to level set and see it from the lens of an investor, where John Regas will speak and set the tone. Then we'll have a keynote, which is really talking about whether it's climate or infrastructure. We're lucky to have two distinguished individuals coming here, one from the White House, one from industry, really talking about this climate infrastructure paradigm. Then we will, this year for the first time, we will have breakout panels, given the demand and the interest. We couldn't really fit it all into one room, so we're gonna have various tracks. But here in the main room, we'll have a view from the top to start the day. But across the board, as you'll see on the third floor here, just up the stairs, we have various conference rooms where we have 4 different tracks this year. One is a shareholder track, the second is an innovation track, and then a rethinking track, which is really meant to challenge our perceptions of water, and then a global track. So with each one of those, I would encourage you to either stay in the auditorium or move across that. Then we will have a small networking break and lunch, and then we will, can we move the, and then we'll begin the early afternoon. I think one of the important things is solutions that come through capital, but also through attracting the right amount of people. Clearly, everyone in this room is engaged in water, but the idea is to keep bringing in more people into this conversation, into the water industry. So we'll start off with our inaugural H2O list to kick off the afternoon. Then we'll have a Riverside chat. I think it's funny when people ask about water and politics. I think water is one of the few sectors which is truly bipartisan. because it is such an important issue and one that is unarguably that, as the professor mentioned, let's make America wet again, but not too wet. I think it's unarguable, that statement across the board. So we have a bipartisan panel talking about that and how important it is to bring the different constituents together, because water is really the benchmark for that, I think, as we go into various political conversations. Then we'll break out again. We'll have a panel discussion here in the main room. We'll look at global perspectives. For the first time, we will be expanding the conversation outside of the US in the main auditorium to talk about issues in Southeast Asia on water resiliency. And then we will have the following tracks, again, shareholder innovation, rethinking on the third floor and here on the second floor. Then we will have a part two of that with continued breakouts across those tracks, as well as a continuation on global perspectives in Southeast Asia. Then we will test, we are in an academic setting. We will do our Science AQ test in the afternoon to see who's been paying attention for another great prize. Hopefully many of you will stay for that. And then we will end the day with a topic I think that's really top of mind, both in climate and in infrastructure, on water and food security, with Seth Siegel and Nathan Galverson from The Grab. Is fortunate that he will be here talking about his movie, his documentary, and then we will have a closing remarks, and then whoever, we say VIP here, whoever has made it through this whole day and has been helping us rethink water for 8 hours deserves to be a VIP. So we will be hosting a VIP cocktail, which includes fantastic water tasting from all over the world here just on my right to end the day. So that is the jam-packed program. But please have a seat here for the people that joined us late and the people at home. Thank you. It's an exciting day. I have mentioned this. The one thing I did forget to mention was that there will be Professor Thompson will be doing a book signing, his book Liquid Assets, just across here in the late morning. And we also have Antoine Walter, who will be doing a live podcast for those that are interested in hearing him and having a conversation with him. One of the foremost experts in podcasting will be with us, and all-day water tasting. And then the downstairs, we will be having a career fair for our university students.